Hi everyone, it's Marcella Basta. I wanted to share with you today some thoughts and something that's been really heavy on my mind lately. I've just started this blog. It's been a little nerve-wracking trying to put together some videos for you. It's amazing how vulnerable you have to be in order to do that. So I've been kind of working on that so that I can be able to share what I want to share with you and with the world, and the whole reason God put me on this earth. But it's taken some time, so I apologize. I wanted to share with you something that not many people know, and not many people understand, and that's about depression. It's curable. It's not something that someone has to die of. I read something the other day, or I watched something the other day, and it said, this person lost his battle with depression. And it kind of hit me hard because I thought, my gosh, it sounds like they had cancer and, they lost their battle with cancer. And that definitely is a battle. I could see how depression is a battle. I could see how depression is something that people have to fight every single day. Not many people know this about me, but about 20 years ago, I was in a severe clinical depression. I was about 24 years old. I had two little ones at the time. I think 5 and 4-year-old, two daughters. I think that's how old they were. Anyways, I had been depressed since I was probably 8 years old. Actually, as I go back and I read my diaries, I was about 8 years old when I started feeling the feelings of depression. It wasn't until I was about 21 when I started really feeling it. I was married. I was a military wife. We lived in San Diego. We had no family around. I had two little ones. My husband was deployed a lot. And I started to really suffer from the depression. I started to feel lethargic at times, just laying on the couch, letting my kids play around while I would lay on the couch and watch TV and just not want to feel. The times I felt like, at that time I didn't really think much about suicide because I wanted to raise my children. But it was some painful days, some days where I woke up and I just didn't want to feel. It wasn't until I was about 24 years old that it got to where it was controlling my life. I was working full time. I was going to school part time, going to college part time, and I had my daughters, and I was going through a divorce. Actually at the time. So I had a lot going on, a lot of stress, a lot of overwhelm. Unfortunately, when I was 21, all of that, what happened is I actually started feeling and having memories of being molested as a child. And that was affecting my marriage. Imagine having these memories and trying to be intimate with your husband. It was very difficult. So it affected my marriage. So by 24, we were going through a divorce. Anyways, the depression at 24 years old was debilitating. I was put on disability. I was on medication. I was on antidepressants, anti-anxiety. There were times where I was on sleeping pills because then I couldn't sleep. So I had moments where I wanted to just sleep all the time, and there were moments where I just couldn't sleep and I had insomnia. And so I was put on quite a few things. I remember days of just not wanting to feel. I didn't want to feel the pain anymore. It hurt my body to breathe even. When they had finally put me on disability and I had to stop working, I had to quit school, that is when it got worse. That was probably the hardest time. My kids were in school at the time, and so I would go and drop them off at 8 in the morning, take them to school, come home, set my alarm for 3 o'clock because I had to pick them up by 3:30, set my alarm for 3 o'clock, and I would sleep all day. I wouldn't even eat or go to the restroom. I literally would sleep from the morning till it was time to pick up my kids. And I probably did that for about 2 years, I think, as I lived with that pattern. I would go to the doctors and desperate for something. I didn't want to live that way anymore. And they would tell me there is no cure. Here, take these pills. You just need serotonin in your brain. And I remember going home and taking the pills and saying, oh God, please build the serotonin in my brain. Lord, please build the serotonin in my brain. Lord, please build the serotonin in my brain. And I would beg for that because the doctors made it seem like this one pill was going to change my life. Unfortunately, it didn't. I had some good days and I had some bad days, but the antidepressants really didn't help me. I started getting anxiety, panic attacks. I honestly think I was bipolar at the time because I had some really high highs and some really low lows. I was short-tempered. I was a hot mess. Until, I gotta say, this one day, it really changed my life. Up until that point, I had always thought of suicide. Every day I would tell myself, I just don't want to breathe anymore. I don't want to feel and I don't want to breathe. I would look at my sleeping pills on the side of the table and I would think, man, that would be really nice. But my daughters were what kept me alive. They were the reason I continued. Anyways, sorry. I didn't think I was going to get so emotional about that. This one day, I feel like it was God's divine intervention. I know it was. This one day was just like all the others. I took my daughters to work. I mean, not to work. I took them to school, dropped them off, came home, and I set my alarm. And I remember thinking, God, I just want to sleep forever. I remember asking God to just let me sleep forever. So my alarm rings. It's now 3 o'clock. And my alarm goes off. And I could hear it. I hear it buzzing. I'm laying flat on my stomach like this, and I can't move my arms. I can't move my legs. I'm like, okay, what's going on? In my head, I'm thinking, am I dead? Did I kill myself? So I began screaming in my head. I began screaming, God, help me. Over and over. I probably said it 3 or 4 times. Loud in my head. At that very second, when I had said the last, God help me, I got this burst of energy. I literally jumped out of my bed, ran frantically to the front room, not knowing why I was so frantic to look for my remote. I had to turn the TV on. I finally found the remote, turned the TV on. I sat down and there was this man on the TV that forever changed my life. He pointed at the TV screen and he said, if you're suffering from depression, there is a cure. It's normal. You're normal. And I remember sitting there thinking, what? I had never heard that before. Up until that point, all the medical professionals had said there is no cure. Marcella, you're going to live this way for the rest of your life. They gave me no hope. I felt helpless. I felt defeated. But this man said there was a cure. And I was normal. The whole time I thought I was going crazy, right? But I am normal. So he continued going through why. Okay, he says, if you've been abused growing up, if you've been physically abused, emotionally abused, sexually abused, if you grew up in a chaotic home, all these things, then you're probably suffering from depression and it's normal. And I thought, oh my God, that's all me. I lived that life. So I am normal. Anyways, that day, I was watching Oprah, and it was a man by the name of John Gray. and he wrote a book. He's the Mars, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus author. But before that, he wrote a book called How to Get What You Want and Want What You Have. And I bought that book and I read it, and then I read it again, and I did everything the book told me to do. And I learned a lot. These last 20 years have been personal development, self-help, everything. I love all that personal growth stuff. But anyways, back when I felt helpless, hopeless, I felt defeated, like my life was gonna forever be that way. This book showed me that depression, this is kind of the gist of it all, I guess, that I found what depression really was. So they say the world thinks that depression is a disease, an incurable disease. And what I have found is that depression actually is a symptom of unprocessed emotions and pains from our past. They could be healed by a process that is detailed in that book. They could be healed, not easily. It takes work and dedication. If you're really wanting to change, then it takes work and some dedication. But that process can take you out of depression. It took me, and I know I'm just little old Marcella, born in East LA, grew up with a single mother of raising 4 kids on her own. I mean, I'm no one special. So I know that if I can do it, anybody can do it. Another thing that I've found about depression is that it's an addiction. So addictions to me are anything that keep you numb from feeling any pain. So usually in your 20s, around 21, 22, all your old subconscious pains start to bubble up and they start to come out. And that's what happened to me. Is when I started the depression, I started, all the old memories of the molestation started bubbling up and started to come out. And I would try to push it down, kind of like holding a ball, a blow up ball, the beach balls, trying to hold it underwater. That's kind of how it is. You try to hold it down. But unfortunately what happens is you get to a point where you don't know what's happening. You don't know why you feel that way, and you're tired of holding it down. So you do things to numb yourself. So for me, my addiction was depression, was sleeping. That was my addiction. Other people's addictions can be alcoholism, hoarding, drug abuse, gambling, shopping, sex addictions. To me, how I've seen it in studying human beings with depression for these last 20 years is that it is an addiction so that you don't feel. Any addiction is numbing. So depression is just another addiction because you don't want to feel, so you sleep all day. Normally, that's what I have found depression to be. Anyways, I feel like I've been rambling on. I hope this helps somebody. I hope that my purpose for this video today was to give that one person hope. The one person that's suffering from depression right now, to give them hope that there is a cure. It's going to take some work on your part, but there is hope. I think that is probably, I asked myself one time, what's the number one thing I wish I had back when I was depressed? Because people would tell me, oh, just snap out of it. Oh, just be happy. Oh, go for a walk. Maybe you need to go to the movies and hang out by yourself for a while. No, all those are temporary fixes maybe, but what I needed at that time was someone to tell me, you know what, Marcella, there is a cure here. And that's what John Gray did for me. That day, that God divine appointed day, he said, here, Marcella, let me give you this book, and then it's up to you to do what you need to do. Had I not done that, what I did that day, and looking for the remote and watching that show, or watching that at that moment, I don't think I would be here today. I started thinking about this the other day, and I thought, had I not done what I did, I would have killed myself. The pain was so bad and so intense at times that eventually I would have probably killed myself. And so I pray that if you're watching this and you're suffering from depression, that you know that you can cure it. Buy that book. I'm going to start doing videos on depression and the things that I did to pull myself out of it. The book was my number one thing, but there were other things that I had to do because I was self-loathing. I had no confidence, no self-esteem. My thoughts were negative, constant negativity in my head. So I put together this process that I did back to 20 years ago when I was in that deep depression. I put together this process called the Life Empowerment Process. And what I do there, sorry, my phone's ringing. What I do there is I share, I teach you what I did to pull myself out of that depression. So if you're watching this and you have moments of suicide, just know there is hope. If you suffer from depression, just know that you have the power to heal it. It's going to take feeling again and feeling the pains from your past. But in order to heal, you have to feel. And it is an amazing life after you do that and you work on yourself like that. God, someone's really wanting to get a hold of me here, huh? I wanted to leave you with one more thing. I saved my marriage. I'm still married to my husband, who I was divorcing back when I was 24. We've been together now, or married together 25 years now. So I saved my marriage. We've been together. We've had 5 children total now. And I've had an amazing life. My life completely changed. Within a couple of weeks, I started to feel better. I want to say within a month of doing what I had done, I started to feel better. I wasn't in that pit of hell. I was, I guess, kind of maybe at the rim of hell. I still had more work to do, but I felt like that hope gave me the power I needed to heal myself. So I hope this helps. Leave a comment below. Feel free to check out my website, marcelabassa.com. Send me an email if you have a question. I would love to answer it via a blog so that everybody can benefit from it. That would be fantastic. That's it. So I hope this helps. God bless you all. And there's a saying that I love to say, and you know, life and happiness in our life is a choice. And once you learn the tools you need to make your life happy, it's all up to you, and it's a choice. It's your choice. Take care.